and gentlemen. I'm as the Prime Minister of opening government team with with today's motions is this house as a first generations immigrant parents of color in a predominant white country would choose to live and raise children in an ethnic enclave. We know that ethnic enclave is are a community with the high concentrations of our ethnic group maintaining a strong ethnic of their national identity with another country in another country. And then we know that the first generation, it means that the children who born from the new family of the dead parents. So we see from the conditions or the status quo right now is where the immigrant parents has lived in their immigrant country, but they live in an ethnic environment of that country. So that's why from this status quo, it caused a problem where there racism in ethnic environment of the countries. So that's why we are as the opening government, we want that to minimize the racism which has happened in the environment of that country where the parents is coming to be immigrant in that country. That's why we bring the mechanism of these notions with we want that a government will give residents for this ethnic enclave to live in that residence. So going to my arguments, so I come with three arguments. Where the first is live in ethnic enclave is good for parents and for children. Why do I say so far? The first, it is good for parents to live in ethnic environment, to live in ethnic enclave, because we see from the status quo right now is when parents live in the ethnic of that countries, they get racism. So that's why we don't want this happens. That's why it is good for parents, because the first parents can live in a comfort place, because it is because the environment of the ethnic enclave is all the consist of people who live with the same ethnic. So it means that when they live with the same ethnic, there will be no racism anymore. And then the second is with live in ethnic enclave, parents can educate the children based on their ethnic from the parents' countries before. It means that these parents can educate based on their own ethnic before they move to to these countries. And then it is good also for the children, because the first because as we know that the one and only who can maintain the ethnic of countries or our identity is the young generations. So we believe that this is the right way for them to keep their own ethnic from the country before, because we believe that the interest of the children is it will be rising up when they live in the same environment or in the ethnic enclave, because they have one identity where they actually want to showing up, because we know that as the children, they won't be able to recognized by another because of they have an identity. And then the second is children can develop their own culture by living in one ethnic environment. Like in my first point just now, that when children have maintained the ethnic and of the cultures, it means that they can develop it well. So going to my second arguments, where we believe to live in an ethnic enclave is the safe place for the parents and the children, because of why. The first, the racism will not happen because they live in the same ethnic, so it is reduce the racism, because we know that when they live in one ethnic, it means that they will of course it is related to my second reasons, they will give each other to live in ethnic enclave, because they don't want to hurt each other, because they born from the same ethnics and others, and if there's someone who hurt them, they will of course they will defend each other, they will keep each other. So we believe that by living in ethnic enclave, there will be no racism anymore, because they are safe, and then no one who can give racism to them, because they are come from the same ethnic. So going to my last arguments, where this we believe that to give the place of ethnic enclave is the responsibility of the government, because the first, the interest of government is to make the citizen to feel safe and to feel comfort to live in that country. So that's why this is the government responsibility, because government who make the policy of the country, government who provide the place, and then the one and only who can guarantee the safety of the citizen is only government. So that's why we believe that by living in ethnic enclave, it is the best way to decrease the racism of that ethnics. So I beg to propose.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm as Deputy Prime Minister. I'm going to continue the case. With the motion, this House would, as a first-generation immigrant parent and of color in a predominantly white country, would choose to live in their and rights to children in ethnic enclave. We really know that the ethnic enclave is the place where they will live with their own community, with the same ethnic, with the same country. They can live over there to maintain their own ethnic. So we think that is very good for them, because that already told by the Prime Minister that is very good for them, because this is the only way to make them safe to live in the new country. That it is also very good for them to prevent any kind of action that will harm them in the future. So in this case, I'm going to bring to extension. Number one, why this is the only way to reduce the racism happens in white country, because we believe that racism is really happening in white country, where usually people in the white country, they're really unable to accept the people from another country. For example, they want to live over there, they really ignore the existence of them. So we think that racism will be happening in that country. But if the immigrant parents trying to live in the ethnic enclave, I believe the racism will be minimalized to happen. Because number one, when the immigrant parents trying to live with their own children, they are trying to raise adoption in the enclave, ethnic enclave, means that they will make their own children will be having a better life, having a safe life over there. They can also finally making a socialization with their own community, and it is also will be a good start up for their own ethnic, because bit by bit the society will really realize that, open their eyes also, that your ethnic or your community is existing in that country, because you have your own ethnic enclave. This is very good for you also to having same chance or same right to be respected also as the new or as the immigrant people who gonna live in your country and with your child. And number two, there will be a respectation where this is very good for we as a parents who gonna rise up the children or leave the decision over them, because finally we have our own community over there. We can make sure that our child will get the same the same better life with another society who live over there. So we think that is a very good for the immigrant parents who really worry about the children who will get the what is it, the racism that happen in our country, because we can prevention by living together with our own community. And number two, what will happen if the ethnic enclave exists in our country? Number one, it's really very good for the immigrant parent who really want to make sure that their own children will having a better life, or will not getting any kind of harmful in the future, where they can also teach the students safely about their own culture, about their own behavior, about their own with it like culture or others, because it is very good for them, because they will live in one community. They can also share each other, also show each other about their own, and finally they can maintain their culture. For example, like the people from Mexican who live in who is married with the people in the America, they can also try to maintain their own culture in class, where they can teach their own children to having to maintain the culture. So generation to generation, finally the culture will be exist in their own ethnic. And number two is very good for what will happen if the ethnic enclave is exist, because there will be one life for the next generation. Where when we are trying to put as the first generation to live in the ethnic enclave, we finally realize that this is the only way to make our generation itself exist and will exist safely. Because of why? Because when the first generation going to exist in the ethnic enclave, means that we are trying to start our existential. We are trying to show to the society in the white country that we are there. So it is very giving a guaranteed life for the next generation who want to live also over there, because the government also will not trying to make you away, because the government also will give you a place where you can live your own community, build your own socialization or others, because this is make you be safe in that in that country. So we really know that the racism in the white country really happen, where it make the immigrant parents worry about the life of the children. So we really guarantee that if the immigrant parents want to burn or living with their children, it's better living in the ethnic enclave, where the government will give you a place for your own community, so you can live over there, you can live peacefully, you can teach your students with safety without any kind of worriness or darkness, because in here the government will protect you from the racism that happen, because you have your own community, you have your own society, where your society will cooperate each other to maintain the community and to maintain the culture that coming from your country. So it's really very good for the parents who wanna make who wanna make their own generation to live in the better life, for example in the white country, but they're really afraid to living over there because there is no kind of guarantee. So we really propose you to choose to live in the ethnic enclave, where is it very good for you. There is no there is much warranty, there is much safety, and it is very good also for your culture. You can maintain it well, you can develop your culture in your own community without any kind of hesitate or without any kind of darkness, because you will be ignored or going to be judgment by the necessity, because you already have your own community in that country, right? So there is no worry for you who wanna build up your culture or trying to maintain your culture by giving the education to the children. So we really propose in this motion, and we as the government already prove you that as the immigrant parent is very right to for example right to living in the ethnic enclave, rather than they are living with another community, because we know that the racism will be hit them very much, will be make them being destroyed very much. So we think that this is the only way to prevent any kind of harmful that happen with their own children in the future, or with their own generation. So as the government, we propose the motion.